morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Wherever you are in the world, okay? Because now we're international. And for today's vlog, we have a very, very special guest. Okay, why? Because I've seen his Instagram post. I've just been following him, stalking him. I mean, I love his way of thinking. He's also a follower and fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. He has met him. He went to his store. That's amazing. I've met Gary once in a convention, but this guy, he started as a web designer from, I think, a little bit of farming, and then from horse. You were born from a place wherein there's horse racing, something like that. But this guy, in terms of the hobby, the card hobby, in retrospect, because here in the Philippines, NBA is the thing. Other sport is just growing in the card hobby. But this guy, he is one of the biggest hobbyist sellers, okay, or hobby store owner, okay, known as Cherry Collectible, no other than Mr. Grayson White! Ting, 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 ting. Yes, I'm so happy. All right.
And that's amazing. I need you as my hype guy. That's brilliant. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I wish I was half those things.
Nah, you are. I've done my due diligence and I've researched a bit, and I'm really honored for you to, I know you've been really busy. The last time we scheduled, we weren't able to connect, but this time, actually, I was really worried that you wouldn't, do this anymore. But thank you. Okay, thank you for this. And so to start, so that our Filipino subscribers would have an idea of who you are, can you share a little bit background of yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Tasmania, which is the small island underneath Australia, and I grew up in the country in Tasmania in a family that raced thoroughbreds.
Oh, horses.
So,
Racing horse, right?
Racehorse, yeah. So I grew up racing horses, and that was, what I was always going to be. I was always going to work with horses, and I moved to Melbourne, which is where we currently are based, where Cherry is based. I moved here to work with racehorses, and the GFC sort of happened, and it didn't work out as I'd planned, and I needed to work out a way that I could make enough money to pay the rent and to not go back to that island, to the little island with my tail between my legs. And so I just had my sort of spider sense on go, and when I walked past a market stand and saw some basketball cards, which I'd loved in the 90s.
Oh, nice.
There was a ding, 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 and yeah, exactly. And I kind of started convincing myself at the time that they were going to be big again. And I'd had a business on eBay. I was one of the largest resellers of Transformer toys in the late 90s. I was buying used Transformers from the States and reselling them and doing enough to I guess make a living.
Make ends meet, right?
Yeah,
and I think that time it was a junk wax era, right? That's why you're saying you're hoping that it would go up again.
Yeah, and that was the same sort of thing. It was like 20 years after they were big. So I kind of convinced myself there was all these things, high definition TV, and the lower class moving up in China. There's all these reasons that it was going to be a good idea, and none of them necessarily were sound, but they put me where I am now, and I'm forever grateful for everyone that's helped along the way.
Wow. So imagine that, guys. 20 years. I mean, from the day he started, it wasn't a walk in the park. For sure, there's a lot of ups and downs. But when the moment, happened, he grabbed it, and now he's reaping the reward. So I think that's one learning we could get from Mr. Grayson is patience.
Absolutely. The biggest learning, and the biggest part where patience is important is that early on, I was selling boxes $20 cheaper than the next guy. And I was looking at the sales on eBay every week and going, why is he selling 5 boxes more than me a week? Like, this doesn't make any sense. $20. And it took me a long time to realize that price is not important. It's all about the relationship that you have and the trust you have in your brand.
Correct.
And a year went by, and our numbers moved very, very slowly, but we started to develop that core group of a community that trusted us and that we gave them a consistent experience. And so, yeah, patience is very important.
Thank you, sir. So I guess my first question is, what is Cherry Collectables? Because a lot of people watch my channel who are have no idea in the hobby, and then they got interested in knowing a little few details about NBA cards or collecting. So what is Cherry Collectables?
Well, I mean, we see ourselves as a trading card entertainment business. So
trading card entertainment.
Yeah, so we pump out like 10, maybe 12 hours of content a day, and we see ourselves as a way in which that brands in this hobby can get a lot of organic marketing throughout a targeted community. And so we're a platform that whether or not you're this is your first trading card set, or whether or not you're Panini, there's an opportunity for us to really showcase your product, and we're very transparent. People get to watch it being open for customers live every single night.
Group box break, right?
Yeah, group box breaks, and they get to formulate their own opinions like right there and then. And products, they see it by the case, they see it the day it's released. So there's a really we're almost like a news network in that regard, and we see ourselves like that.
Wow.
And of course, at the very guts of it, we're a retail shop. We're Amazon to a lot of customers. That we've got a high expectation of what their experience is going to be like, how they're going to be shipped the item, what sort of support they're going to,
how fast it is.
But I'll say this, when I started Cherry and when I went full time with it, the original sort of business plan was that it would be a living shop. So it'd be online 24/7, and that people could like view.
Oh, wow. 24/7.
Yeah, which didn't, I mean, it's very, very hard, but it's certainly, the idea was that everyone that worked here would become characters and be very important to the experience that people have with Cherry. And to some extent, that's the case.
Nice.
I'm proud of that.
So it's like your original plan was to do like a 24-hour vlogging type of business. Nice. Like the HBO movie, right? From the day he was born until the day he escaped, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it was Tom Hanks. But so second question would be, why is the business or the store named Cherry?
So you mentioned that I'd done a little bit in the web sort of space, and that's true. It wasn't very much, but it's true. The one thing I'd really noticed was that people got boxed in by their brand name, and I didn't want that to happen. I didn't know whether or not we'd be selling exclusively, vinyl action figures in 2021, or whether we'd be selling, the most popular trading card. Sorry about that, I just got a call. Or whether we'd be selling the leading trading card brand in the world, Panini. So it was basically to protect ourselves, whichever way we decided to go. And I'd always referred to my Transformers when I had the eBay business as Cherry Mint. So I kind of had a bit of an affinity with it as something that was a higher level than you would come to expect. And that's how I picked Cherry.
Oh, okay. So the term Cherry Mint, is it like a normal term that you guys use with toys, or you just thought of it?
Yeah, toys. It's like for something that is better than mint. So it's like almost perfect.
Okay. Like in the card, it's gem mint or pristine. Here, it's Cherry Mint. Oh, nice. Okay. So how long has been Cherry opened already? How many years?
So our stores have been open since 2015, but I've had Cherry was a business. I think we applied for the name in early 2009 or late 2008.
Oh wow, so many years. So do you also, since you've said that you love NBA cards before, when you saw it in a stand in a grocery, so do you collect as well? Do you have a current PC right now? For sure you have a lot.
Big PC. Look at our single section. I collect Marvel trading cards.
Marvel.
Yeah, and I collect the odd card. I've got a bunch of Clint Eastwood cards and some Muhammad Ali cards. I do collect the odd thing. Okay. I've got a Michael Jordan behind the glass. So the first ever card, I'll tell you a story. The first ever card I got when I went into a trading card shop when I was a kid, and this ages me somewhat. Doesn't it? And it sort of makes me look like a noob to people that have been in the hobby like King Gold for a long time. But I busted my first pack. I think it was Upper Deck Special Edition, 1994 maybe. And I got a Michael Jordan behind the glass, which your viewers haven't seen that card. It's definitely one worth looking at. It's a stunning card. It's a really unique design. I'm surprised the sort of used more often. And it was worth about $85, and the store owner at the time managed to trade that card from me. I'm sure he did really well, and he gave me a box of the same product for it. And in that box, I got a redemption for the whole behind the glass set.
Wow.
Yeah, which was good. I won, and
You leveled up.
I did. Yeah, leveled up. So I think that's what got me really hooked on trading cards. And so when I opened my first store in 2015, one of the first people that came into my store wanted to sell me a collection, which was terrible. It's probably worth millions now, but it was terrible at the time.
Boom.
One of them was a beat up Jordan behind the glass, and so I bought it, and it's in my collection, and it's really important to me because I think it's the reason I'm here. It's the reason why there's a couple of dozen people that we've got working here doing what they love. And thank you, Upper Deck, for producing that card. It's hopefully done a lot of good.
Nice. So, do you have some like NBA aside from the MJs? Do you have who's your favorite player to collect in the NBA so that Filipinos could relate?
I love Luka.
Ooh.
Yeah, I enjoy watching Luka. LeBron's amazing. Zion's been transformational, so I think that he's going to be everything that people.
Next generation.
Yeah, I think. What's that?
Ja Morant. How about Ja?
I like Ja. I think he's got absolute scope. Ja's a little bit like I think he's
Derrick
I
Rose.
think every year like there's a LeBron and then there's a Wade or a Carmelo, and people try to build that person up as being LeBron or being Durant or being whoever the top guy is, and very rarely does it eventuate. But I mean, Ja's got the skills, he's got the flair, but I think his cards are expensive.
Okay. The reason why I ask is because he's my PC.
I could tell the way you were hinting. Yeah, you must have a lot of money, Billy.
No. I still don't have an auto, but my PC is mainly Michael Jordan. Actually, as you can see on my back, I have a lot of memos from magazines to posters, vintage MJ posters to I have one auto of Jordan, and then I recently purchased a BGS 8 RC Fleer. I got it for like $7,000 a few months ago, and then I think that was the bottom, and now it's like selling like $9,000 to $10,000. So
good stuff. And if I was a jar collector, I would be buying that Luminance card.
That one. Yeah, with the when Kevin Love said he almost killed me. Luckily, it didn't went in, right?
that card was horrendously overpriced earlier. Now I actually think it's horrendously underpriced. If he does make it, then that has to be the most popular of his rookie cards by far.
Oh, guys, believers. Okay, that's a tip from Mr. Grayson. So, sir, next question would be, okay, I think a lot of people would be clamoring for, opinions, analysis, and for sure a lot of hype is brewing or also fears, okay, when there's the big question, Fanatics. So I would like to know your opinion or your forecast, okay, what do you think or what happened when Fanatics, finally overthrown Panini, let's say in the NBA space, and not only that, but also in other sports, right? Maybe so that Filipinos could relate is let's focus on the Panini acquisition of the NBA rights of printing cards. Okay, they got it away from Panini, but we still have a few years, right? So what can you say about that, sir?
Oh, well, I mean, firstly, the brands that are involved in that are all tremendously successful brands.
Baseball, football, right? NFL?
Yeah, Topps, Panini, and Fanatics. Like, we've got really good relationships with all of them, and they successful because of the way they go about their business. So I don't think a huge amount changes. I think that the reason that this has happened is because Panini and Topps have done such an incredible job with their exclusive licenses. And so I think that perhaps the argument was there to be made, and it was probably quite clear to the leagues that an overarching exclusive perhaps be even enable even greater scale. So that's my take on why the leagues have made such a big call, because they certainly couldn't fault the results of Topps and Panini over the last 4 or 5 years. So I think that less changes than people are perhaps speculating will.
A lot of speculation.
Yeah, there is, and most of it. I mean, I think most of it's positive. It's a fair bit of it's fan fiction. I mean, we've gone with our super team. A lot of it is what people would really love to see happen, but the reality is for Fanatics to continue to deliver the exceptional trading card environment we've got right now, that those people at each of those companies, particularly the people that are in charge of sales and product development, they're going to need to pick them up.
Yeah, and take it to the next level, right?
Yeah, which is probably going to be addition of brands into each, and then bringing in some real customer engagement brands at like $2.99 and
Actually,
$4.
I saw your post in Cherry wherein what ifs wherein if the PMG Fresh Metal Zion design or there will be a chance if they could bring back Jordan or any players that design, who knows? But what will happen to the hobby if that happens? Or let's speculate, right? If that happens, what do you think will be the hype over it, or what will happen?
Yeah, it's potentially going to be incredible. The reality is that if Panini had never got an exclusive license, and if Topps had never got an exclusive license, then Cherry would probably not be anything like the company that it is today. So change was amazing for us then, and I certainly am a firm believer that change is normally good for everything. Rarely does change happen that isn't for a positive reason. So yeah, it's exciting, and I think absolutely everyone will be happy when there's a little more certainty as to what's going to happen. But we do an exclusive product with Fanatics.
So can you give a brief overview of what is Fanatics actually for our subscribers right now? So because I've seen a little bit like they distribute or they sell like memorabilia or jersey, something like that.
Yeah, they're a major player, and they've become a major player in the memorabilia. I think they probably saw that it was quite fragmented, and I remember seeing a documentary where there was so much of it that was not authentic. And so they've obviously taken that opportunity, and they've streamlined a lot of those channels, made them direct to consumer, which obviously cuts away a lot of the cost. The product they do with us is a mystery jersey or mystery memorabilia product, and it's all I can say is that they're easy to deal with. They supply a high quality product.
What's a mystery jersey?
So you buy the box and you don't know whether it's going to be a Tom Brady jersey or if it's going to be
like a mystery pack in NBA cards. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And enables people to have access to potentially getting a really amazing jersey. But where a lot of those, in my opinion, fall down is that the quality of the jersey that you get in them is quite poor. Either the quality of the jersey is quite poor, the jerseys are not necessarily authentic, they're custom made for the products, or they are the autographs are not necessarily
good,
absolutely authentic. They're normally authenticated, but they're not, by PSA or JSA or
UDA.
Yeah, or UDA or Panini. So yeah, we spoke to them about that, and they were like, that's an awesome idea, and it's been a tremendously successful product. So they clearly are in the game of listening to new ideas. They understand the value of relationships, particularly global, has been the reason that Panini and Topps have been so successful.
Correct.
And I think that's a good thing. So I think that all indications, particularly from our perspective, is that this will be a positive move.
So guys, okay, don't panic, okay? It's going to be a picnic. I mean, there's always two sides of the coin, and there's always an opportunity, and unless they post it or share it to us, their next move, then we'll never know, right? All of these speculations will just add up to the hype and or to the fear, but it depends on you on how you will take it, okay? But for sure, this hobby will grow, right? A lot of people are, trying to create a movement wherein if Fanatics could change some things like the sticker autos, if they could finally organize well and then make it on card, something like that, or the redemption. Some people, they don't like the redemption, some they do. but because it's pandemic, so it's taking a lot of time for you to get the redemption card. What else they're requesting? Oh, if they could, like what you guys are doing, no? They're advocating if they could bring back some old school brands that they would like to grab an opportunity again. So a lot of things, right? If Fanatics is watching right now, okay, we're begging you guys, please, 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 okay, do a very good job for the next level of this hobby. Because Mr. Grayson, last couple of weeks I interviewed Mr. Tracy Hackler of Panini. So guys, if you love this type of content, okay, don't forget to subscribe, hit that button, and like, and turn on the notification. And also, Mr. Grayson, if you could promote your YouTube and then your website and Instagram.
Oh man, what's our Instagram? I don't know what our handles are. We'll send them through. I think it's like at Cherry Collectables. I forget. I set those up a long time ago.
Yeah. Cherry Collectables from Instagram. Same thing in YouTube. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to their YouTube channel, Instagram, okay, Cherry Collectables. Okay, you will see their live events. Okay, you will see a lot of their boxes and singles for sale. Okay, and that's it, guys. Okay, with the promotion. Next question would be, sir, what advice, okay, can you give to those people who are new in the hobby? A couple of tips, random tips, one or two or three. It's up to you, sir.
Yeah, do your research.
Mr. Grayson, I'll introduce my son. Sorry. He always is a ninja. Okay, this is Hockey.
Oh, buddy.
Say hi to Mr. Grayson.
Hi, Mr. Grayson.
How old are you?
Good.
How old are you?
I'm 5.
My daughter just turned 4.
Joaquin, who's your favorite player? The one we always play in PlayStation 4. You forgot?
Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So that's Joaquin. Actually, I have 3 boys. Godfrey is 12. Enzo.
One sister.
Yes. And then our babies. One baby girl. So started really early.
How you doing, man? And I got one, and that's it. No more. She's beautiful. Love her to death, but no more.
Oh, what's her name?
Eva.
Joaquin. Okay.
Why after man?
What did you say?
Eva, like the cartoons, the robot in I forgot, but her name was like the futuristic robot. Her name is Eva. Yeah. So going back again, sorry, you were saying about the tips you were going to give to the newbies.
So the first tip that I would give to anyone who's just starting out is to research. Make sure that you're using the sold item filter on eBay, and spend a lot of time on eBay. I find that if I haven't researched something in a long time, I'm normally completely out of the loop. An example of that is the Mason Greenwood Prism base. I had no idea that it was $1 a card. I still thought it was like a $20, $30, $40 card. So it's, even if you're not starting out, just to continue to do your research, particularly if you're looking at big deals. The second thing is that there's smash that best offer button, or really focus on card auctions. Doesn't matter if the platform is StockX, where you can put in an ask, or whether it's eBay, where you've got a lot of auctions ending all the time. There's like so many amazing cards selling every single day, and for a business like ours, for example, where we've got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cards up.
Wow.
We will price cards at a point where we don't want to have to adjust that price. So that best offer button is so valuable. And I know a lot of people, I've had a lot of customers in store that are sometimes a little bit reluctant to hit it, whether they feel like that might be like a bad thing to do, just smash it. And, if you send in 10 best offers a day to like people that have got a card you like, one of them might just take you up on it. And then the others, once you've got one, you might get more. The third is something that I do every year, and that is that I kind of find an idea or something that I think has got tremendous growth potential. So 2 years ago, when Brady went to the Bucks, I made a matrix of all the key cards of his, what the populations were, what their prices were, key things about the cards that made them like better maybe than another card. Example would be that Luminance jar. It's the absolute best one. And then I would target my buying to a small amount of those cards, and so I'll buy like 50 or 100 of each of those particular cards. And so I did it with Tom Brady. You could do the Luka Doncic autographs that like so much as to whether or not is that his true autograph, is it his mum's, whether
I've heard of that.
Yeah, whether or not you believe in any of that or not, makes its own sort of subgroup of true rookie autos, and you can often using like a matrix on Excel work out which ones are the ones you really want to focus your buying on. Takes the emotion out of it. And now might be products that still have Maradona autographs in them. Okay, which ones are they? So you can just buy all those products as sealed wax, and then every single 4 years we're going to get inundated with highlights of Maradona, and every 4 years Maradona's stuff is going to just bump. So
excuse me, sir. From what sport is Maradona?
Diego Maradona, he's like maybe top 5 easily soccer players of all time.
Okay. Okay. We don't have box breaks of soccer here. I've seen 1 or 2, but very rare. So mostly NBA is the hobby that is growing here in the Philippines. A few Pokemons, or maybe I'm not just aware of it, but that's the reason why I asked. Sorry.
All right. And I'll give you my 4th tip then. My 4th tip is to get in a line of 1. Get in a line of 1. So there's no one. You don't think there's anyone doing soccer breaks in the Philippines? Start the soccer break business.
Even if it's not that, I am not familiar, but let's say if it's not that famous or that big,
it's fine. Everything has to grow, and when we started,
be the first. Okay.
When we started Cherry, there must have been, I reckon, in total maybe 100 boxes of Panini trading cards or Upper Deck trading cards of any new set here in Australia, and that would be 20, 30, 50 times now. So the reality is that it may have been interesting, and the people in the Philippines may be sort of more likely to buy into basketball, but the moment that you start to grow that and enable them to partake, I mean, I'm sure that people still follow the Premier League. They still know who Ronaldo is. They still know who Messi is.
Yeah.
There's opportunities, and that's what I'm always looking for, and it's, I think, what would be handy for your entrepreneur.
Wow, thanks. Actually, guys, so to our believers who is watching right now, for sure you've got tons and tons of ideas from Mr. Grayson here, and we've learned a lot. Okay, we've gained we got a lot of time from Mr. Grayson, and we picked his brain from all the questions that we got from him. But with all good things, we need to end, because I know that Mr. Grayson is very busy. Imagine, guys, okay, we have been starting to interview a lot of international people who are celebrity in the hobby. Yes, ting 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 ting. Because last time I interviewed with Tracy Heckler.
Yeah. He's an absolute superstar.
A good guy. And actually, I'm very, very, very happy because when I messaged you on Instagram, I was surprised when you asked, hey, what's your address? And then you said you're going to send me a box. And like, wow, all these people that I thought, were very big in the hobby internationally wouldn't answer me on my Instagram, and yet they're going to send me a box, especially with Panini, Tracy Hackler. I told him, I don't have any merchandise of Panini, and I only have a printed version. Okay, actually it's there, but I printed the bond paper logo of Panini, and that's the thing I use during my vlogs. And I asked him if he could point me to the person where I could buy some merchandise, and he said, no worry, I'll send you a box. And I was like, my heart dropped. And so one thing I could say to this hobby, not just internationally, but also here locally, the veterans or the vets, collectors or the season collectors are very protective of the newbies. Okay, like me, when I got in, I don't have a huge channel back then. I was like 10,000 or 15,000. So I wasn't known yet. So, but they're very hospitable, engaging, and helpful. And I found my community. Now our channel is like 25,000 subscribers, and my following in Facebook is 100,000 plus. I'm really loving it. I'm actually an entrepreneur. I sell watches for a living. I distribute high quality vitamins on the side. We had a restaurant before. We sell pancit. Okay, it's like a Filipino spaghetti. Okay.
Yeah.
But eventually when pandemic hit, we closed down the resto and I closed down shop because I have a brick and mortar store in a mall, and we all know since lockdown, and I don't want to risk my employees contacting the virus, and so we have no choice. The funds are draining, so we opted to close it. But God is good. He opens a lot of doors and opportunities. At least one of my businesses survived, and that's the only thing that is providing for my family. But on top of that, this vlogging opportunity came up, and it was actually an idea of my wife. So I was doing content of motivation, business, personal development, like Gary. Okay, that's why I'm a huge fan. I actually collected all of his books, complete set. But when I was running out of ideas, my wife told me, "Hey, why not open a box of NBA cards?" And I said, what am I going to say? He said, "You don't need to say anything, just open a box." Like, will this work? But since I'm running out of idea, might as well try it. That's why without my wife, they're saying a successful man is supported by a amazing wife, right? So when I opened my first box, the camera was off. There's one time wherein the camera that I was using, the battery was low bat, and people were like, "Hey, we know you're good looking, but we don't care about your face, so use the card." Put the camera on the card. And one or two, it reached 50,000 views, and now we're like on our 30 plus box breaks, personal box breaks. And then story went even better. I was invited to do a collaboration with Box Break Hub here, local box breaking group in the Philippines with Nice, Vernice, and then Paolo, PJ, sorry. And imagine this, I'm getting paid just a small amount, but still doing the thing that I love, which is opening boxes, right? So, wow, Sir Grayson, I hope we could still do a lot of vlogs and connect even more. Maybe do a collaboration here, event in the Philippines when the pandemic ends, because I always say to my vlogs, one of my dream is to do a nationals here in the Philippines. So,
Billy, it's amazing that you've been able to do so much in like such a challenging time, and it says a lot about you, and it certainly says a lot about your wife as well. My wife was behind me too at the start of this, and still is. Every single decision that we make, particularly when we've got kids, is so complex. Correct. Because there's so much on the line, and I think that clearly you've understood what's at stake, and you've put more of yourself into it than some people can, or some people do, and you should be really proud of that. And just going back to the Tracy stuff, like when I first started, I was seeing videos of Tracy. He was doing unboxings just like you. I don't know if you watched his old stuff, but he's a weapon, and he's such an asset to Panini that he's kind of a little bit forgotten, I think, sometimes, because we concentrate so much. There's so many people in that space now, but he was literally one of the people that started it, and he gave everyone a lot of confidence to be an amplified version of themselves. So no, you're very lucky to have him on, and he's brilliant. I'm sure he'll send you something really nice. Thank you. One last thing. My first employee was from the Philippines.
Oh,
yeah.
What's her name?
Her name was V, and she's no longer with us, but she's moved on. But she still keeps in touch, and
wow.
A lot of the ways, a lot of the things that we do, and a lot of success we've had is because of her input and how valuable she was at Cherry. And yeah, it was really interesting because there's you guys have got a great sense of humor, and I would love to go to the Philippines someday. Evidently the food too. So
maybe we could invite you when I start organizing the Filipinas Nationals. Yay!
Good. Sponsored by Fanatics. You could be the biggest breaker Fanatics product in the Philippines.
Bang! Bang! So, guys, our vlog is ending. Okay, thank you, Mr. Grayson White. But I just need to do a quick shout out to our subscribers, our believers. Okay, so shout out to Bernard Santos, #1 fan. Mo ako idol, lupit mo talaga, tuloy-tuloy lang. To Earl Damian, mentor kung pwede, Pokemon cards or NB cards. Oh, okay. So, guys, it's an honor to guest Mr. Grayson White here in the channel. We shared a lot of learnings and realizations. So, this is your mentor, Billy De La Fuente, and
Grayson White, Cherry.
bye, guys! Yay!